Welcome, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the last couple of weeks. We've been gone. Had a lot going on. We went up to Kentucky and went to some training, some discipleship training on how to make disciples on the mission field. Amazing. We were there for a week and 10-hour days every week of training. It was so intense. And we got home 4th of July, and now we're back again. I hope that you're ready to get into the Word with me, and we're going to start talking just a little bit about Abraham. I think it's important in the days that you and I are living in that we have faith, and I think he's a great character in the Bible. We're going to kind of make a synopsis of some of the things in his life of how God grew his faith today. Just 3 points. I want you to write these down, remember them. I think they'll help you as a meter to find out where exactly do I fit in. But the Lord did ask the question out of the book of Luke, out of the Gospel of Luke, I think around chapter 17. He said, when I return, will I find faith? That's a good question. And so you and I know that we were born in our trespasses and sins. We have no faith. If it wasn't for God to come to us, we couldn't be saved. But he did come. And he saved me. And then he began to grow my faith. 3 areas of Abraham's life I want us to look at. In chapter 12, we find that God called Abraham out from where he was into a land that he knew not. And he said, when you go to this land, I will make you a great nation, and you will be blessed. And he received these promises of God. So the first thing I want to share with you is God will direct where God is calling. God will direct where God is calling. In other words, you don't know where God's calling. You have to trust God that he knows where you're going. And, the first times when God starts calling you and you say no to God, he's just not going to call much anymore, because that's the beginning steps of your faith. I remember when God called me, I was ready to go wherever he wanted me to. And it was across the country. I said yes. It was half the money I was making at that time, but I said yes. God took care. He provided. Number 2, in chapter 15, we find God promises Abraham land. That land that you're on is going to be yours one day. You're going to inherit your family, and you're going to have a son. And Abraham believed God. God began to grow his faith. But Abraham said, when is this going to happen? And Abraham, asked God, I'd like to know when is this going to take place in God's time? So number 2, God will fulfill his promise in his time. God's promises are sure, but you don't always know when, but they are sure. So stand on them. And some people are standing on things that aren't not God's promises, but they're trying to manipulate God to saying, come and join me. This is a good thing, God. We need to make sure they're God's promises. God always confirms. And then thirdly, God will supply what God demands. When Abraham was coming up on that hill to offer up Isaac, Isaac said, look, Father, I see the wood. I see the fire. Where's the sacrifice? God will provide, Abraham said. And he learned that. He knew that. He put his faith and trust in that what God demands, God will supply. And as I close out here, I just want to say to you, once you learn that in life, it's no longer about provision anymore. It's about position. Where am I standing before the Lord? Not how much do I have to do for God. It's where am I in God? Have I surrendered more? If I'm following, am I where God would have me to be? Because I know God will always supply. If I'm where I need to be with God, God will always supply. Guys, take these 3 things and the 3 points. God will direct where God is calling. God will fulfill his promise in his time. And God will supply what God has demanded. Take those 3 points, Abraham's life. Where do you fit in? May God bless you. See you again.